everybody could use a Theo in their life, or at least I could, and a bonfire. I want to talk a little bit about my favorite chapter in Celeste. What chapter is this actually? Chapter 6. Chapter 6 in the story is my favorite. And I also want to connect it a bit to myself because of like just today and how I've been. This is not like a Celeste gameplay video, so I don't know what the background's going to be, but you know, we ball. Chapter 6 opens up with kind of an exchange between the two main characters, Theo and Madeline. And it kind of just starts, you know, it's talking about, you know, the temple and a little bit about their lives. And as I was playing the game for the first time, I wasn't even really thinking about YouTube. I was just kind of playing the game. The characters were charming to me, you know, Madeline and her, you know, alter ego. They were just charming. They were just charming people, you know. And Theo, he was kind of whack, to be honest, but you know, he just seems like a cool kind of chill guy. That was about it. And it wasn't until they started talking at the bonfire that they went from being just charming characters to me to being like real. They felt like fleshed out real people. Especially Theo. It was actually kind of weird. Theo was like it was really cool. Though the 180 on Theo was like crazy. Theo really just like became really, really in depth for me. I don't know. It was weird. But also Madeline. The Madeline talks about her struggles with depression, anxiety attacks, and like why she was climbing the mountain. She says like, you know, I don't even know why I'm doing it. I just had to get out there. You know, she talks about depression. Like she doesn't talk about it with anybody. Only her mom really knows about what she's going through. And she kind of keeps up appearances. And it kind of hit me fucking hard. It really hit me hard. I'm so happy I didn't have a face cam because, if you actually heard me recording it, it caught me so out of left field that I was actually choking up and kind of tearing up. And I was like, damn, bro, what the fuck? I was just here for a funny platforming game. And now I'm here crying like a little bitch. My mom knows I get depressed and have panic attacks. That's about it. Oh god. Alex struggles with it too. I really want to understand. We can talk about something else if you want. Okay, just for headcanon purposes, I'm gonna stop saying Stuart. I'm just gonna say Madeline. Yeah, it was definitely my favorite chapter, to be honest. I'm not talking about the gameplay, right? I'm not talking about Kevin and, you know, freaking getting chucked down the mountain. That was something else. But the dialogue, the exchange, it solidified myself. Like, I still, whenever I think about Celeste, the very first thing that comes to mind every time is this chapter. And I also really like Theo. I've talked to people, we'll say that. I've talked to people before about my mental state. And I do appreciate everyone who's put up with my bullshit before, because when they talk to me, I always feel like let's not beat around the bush. I definitely dumped on people before. Definitely impacted relationships. And not only that, I'm kind of grateful that things turned out that way just kind of early on, because it taught me how not to approach mental health, especially with other people. You know, not to overdump, not to overshare. But also the impact of, you know, not being honest with people, not being open. It can be isolating. It is to not talk to it about anyone. What's going on in your head all the time. But it's also like a sign that you don't really trust people. And it's pretty shitty feeling if you find out that someone is struggling and they just don't want to talk to you about it. But to be honest, Batman, when you're struggling with it, it's kind of degrading to talk about it. It doesn't feel good. There's a lot of reasons why you wouldn't want to talk about it. You know, people will treat you differently, inevitably. People can say they won't, but let's be honest, underneath, you know, everyday conversation, people will be thinking about how you're doing all the time, and it's exhausting. People will treat you with pity. We don't like pity here. We don't like pity. We play Celeste to do Deathless. We don't like pity on this channel. I'm joking a lot, but I'm basically just trying to get my thoughts out without, you know, breaking down into freaking just the most depressing thing ever. the motivation for this video actually, I'm just going all over the place. You know, this is just a rant video at this point. I watched what's his name? Popular YouTuber. I think he did like Minecraft gameplays. I'm not gonna be a poser, right? I didn't watch him before, but I did hear about his recovery from alcoholism. He puts out a lot of stuff that's really vulnerable, and I really respect it. But also, one of his latest videos, I think it was the one where he said he got attacked by a dog. He shows like the recovery process, and I found it like really therapeutic, like really healing to see someone else who was at the bottom of their world, just slowly kind of claw their way back to like some semblance of normality. Showing like exercising, just being able to not throw up constantly, and like slowly weaning off. I don't know, having an emotional support kitty, it felt really relieving. It felt really acknowledging, like, at the end of the day, even people who make it big, they struggle. Like, a lot of people, maybe not to this extreme, but people struggle, and even they, have to fight their way just to get back to feeling okay. My fight, I've been kind of neglecting myself for a while, especially lately. Today is the first day I managed to muster up the strength and the willpower to clean my room. And as shameful as it is, I haven't cleaned my room in a couple of months. It feels like my internal headspace just manifested in the environment around me. And things just slowly got more and more cluttered and like degraded. Like my room was a mess. It was in shambles. And as funny as that is, it only took like 30 minutes, maybe an hour to clean it up, to make it look like really good again, which shows like I could have done it any time, really. It's not hard. There's so many days where I've wasted many hours just staying in bed, doing nothing, but maybe like sleeping or watching YouTube. And I wouldn't even get out of bed to eat or drink or like do anything. I really was kind of just like dying alone in my bed. It feels kind of relieving to get that out of my head though. I haven't really been doing okay. Like little tasks that should not be hard that pertain to self-care, I've just been putting them off. I would legitimately need an entire day off just to do something like trimming my nails, which takes like 5-10 minutes. I could have done that anytime. Or getting a haircut. Taking a shower. I gotta go take a shower after this because I'm gonna be honest. Yeah. you get what I'm putting down. I don't want this to be like a trauma dump. I don't want this to be like a vent video, nor do I want this to be like a regular thing on the channel. I just wanted to say like change can happen at any point in life. I think sometimes we put too much into being hyper productive. I have to be super disciplined all the time. I would say it's good to just rack up the world's smallest wins every day. My small win could be something as simple as like brushing my teeth, and just getting outside and getting a bit of sunlight, maybe drinking water, not being like my dad. Just taking care of yourself really is like probably the biggest win ever. I would even consider it more of a win than just being able to pass my exams, because my school record is atrocious. All of my high school teachers always told me, you can't leave your work until the last minute. Once you get to university, it's not going to work. And I proved every single one of them wrong in the worst way possible, because I don't think there's been a single thing I've done that hasn't been at the last minute. Not one. My last midterm was 6 weeks of content, and I'm pretty sure I started studying like 12 hours before the test. And it is funny, and it is like mildly impressive, there's a lot of content. I probably cut a bit of corners, but my ability to adapt in situations like when I wouldn't have internet, or when I was like traveling and just like non-stop studying, it was truly like a historic lock-in. And I do it every single time there's a midterm. I'm going to be doing it probably 3 more times in the upcoming 2 weeks. But the cost of that is I kind of normalize it as, that's just how I do things. When in reality, I'm kind of abusing myself. It's not good to pull an all-nighter and study 12 hours straight, not eat, not drink, not really live. And then get so tired and burnt out that afterwards I kind of just crash. Like, that's kind of why sometimes there's big delays in videos. If I was a responsible person, I could squeeze time basically out of anything, any part of my day. I could squeeze out a couple of minutes, maybe 20, 30 minutes here to edit, maybe an hour. But it's so easy to not use your time well. And I'm kind of in my prime years, which means I'm really going to regret this later if I don't turn things around. Peak bone mass. If I stay in bed all day, it's going to be irreversible damage in the future. Poor circulation. Sometimes I wake up, my heart feels bad, and I'm short of breath for no reason. And bro, like, I'm not that old. I'm not old yet. I should not be having these kinds of issues. And again, I really feel like, just to highlight things, when I was younger, I was the kind of person who would regularly work out and clean and do stuff like that for fun. So this lack of energy is really kind of disturbing. But don't look too deep into it, right? There's nothing deep. It's just like, I don't know. I think I just fell off and I've kind of dug myself into a pit, and I gotta climb my own mountain. Just like Madeline, I need a Theo in my life to help tell me that, it's okay. It's okay to just be not okay sometimes, and to just work on being okay again. Yeah, that's my battle. That's my thing. I don't know if this was helpful for anyone. Probably not. And if anyone even watched this, thank you. If you know me in real life, do not talk to me about any of this. Like, just don't. And yeah, if you have any thoughts, feel free to leave them in the comments. This is not an engagement bait. You don't have to say anything. I don't really care. I do care, but I mean, I don't care for algorithmic reasons. Like, if you want to share, go ahead if it helps you, and I will respond. Anyways, enough rambling. I gotta wake up at 5 a.m. tomorrow, and it's already late. Take care, guys.